And of course, the paper is expecting the unexpected. The UPSC has proved once again that it is always beyond the expectations. And last year it introduced the concept of pair 1 and pair 2, that options. And in this year's paper, if you analyze the total 100 questions, approximately 50 questions are in that particular, ambit. 50 questions, they have given options as only 1, only 2, only 3, kind of thing. Definitely, if you look at the subjects also, every time UPSC do this, one subject they'll give it for, they'll favor one subject, and one subject they'll make it difficult. Last year, my subject, the Indian economy, it was very easy. But when it comes to this year, instead of relying on the conventional aspects of the economy, this year, 90% of the questions, they are very much relied on the current affairs. And most of the questions they have drawn from the daily newspaper itself. And especially the questions also, they are not only application oriented, but most of the questions, they are involved with so many facts. So in such a particular, a scenario, even analyzing the questions and answer them in the examination within the given time is very difficult entirely. I'm not denying that fact, but still, those people who have prepared for the examination seriously and those people who are very much thoroughly with the current affairs, they can do the right thing. In that particular context, today we will try to analyze the total number of 17 questions which have been given in the examination, and preferably I can say these questions, most of them they are medium range. Some 5 questions they are difficult to answer. Let us try to understand in what way the UPSC has done that. And if you look at the first question itself, interest income from the Deposits Infrastructure Investment Trust, which we call as INVITs, the distributed to their investors is exempted from the tax. There is no such thing actually. These INVITs are being exempted from the tax. They are also liable to the tax. So in that particular sense, actually this is wrong. And they are recognized as the borrowers under Securitization and Reconstruction of Financial Assets. Actually, its name is Sarfiyasi Act. Even I have explained about the Sarfiyasi Act as part of the IBC, that is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. When I was explaining this, these were one such type of acts earlier when it comes to insolvency and bankruptcy. So actually this is right. So in that particular condition, give me 1 second, I think, yes. So in that particular sense, the statement 1 is incorrect and the statement 2 is correct. Where is that option? Yes, D. So D is your option in that particular sense. And the next question, if you see, in the post-pandemic recent past, many central banks worldwide had carried out the interest rate hikes. So this is probably one of the easiest questions in this paper, because if you look at the monetary policy, generally RBI or any central bank for that matter in the world, they're very much concerned about the inflation control. Inflation is nothing but increase in prices. So generally when the prices will increase, when there is one such thing like crisis or pandemics, generally the inflation, it increases. Whenever the inflation is rising up, either you have to reduce the demand or you have to increase the supply. As far as the COVID conditions are concerned, so definitely the worldwide there is some instability between the demand and supply, and even the governments and the central banks simultaneously they have taken decisions to regulate and control this inflation. In that particular sense, actually not only India but also the world countries, they have increased the interest rates, because during the COVID situation, the NPAs have been increased very much, and the inflation rate was also increased. To control both of these things, definitely the central banks have raised their interest rate. In that particular aspect also, central banks generally, see these general statements are very easy to find out. So in generally, this is a very reasonable statement. If you see, central banks generally assume that they have the ability to counteract the rising consumer prices via monetary policy means. Actually, they have used a beautiful language, nothing more than that in that option. If you look at the statement 2, the language is beautiful, but if you look at the statement is very easy. Because what actually the monetary policy is meant for? Monetary policy is nothing but by using different tools, RBI will try to reduce the inflation, and it is the ability of the RBI, or it is the ability of the central bank for that matter in any country. In that particular sense, if you see, the central banks generally assume that they have the ability to counteract the rising consumer prices, which is nothing but inflation. So this is what central banks do. So this is what they ought to do. In that particular sense, this is also right, and the first statement is also right, and this is the correct explanation of the second statement. I mean, first statement 2 is the correct explanation for the statement 1. And these assertion and reason questions, they are much beyond, this time. They're very high, and even their standard and quality is also very good. In that sense, the answer is A in this respect. So the next one, if you see, carbon markets are likely to be one of the most widespread tools in the fight against climate change. Climate change is one heck of a topic in the world, and most of the countries, whether it is a developing country or least developed country or a developed country, it doesn't matter, because everyone is a sufferer of this climate change, and the countries are also trying very hard. All over the world, even societies, countries, everyone, they're trying very hard to bring this climate control into control, but they're trying different routes to regulate this. Carbon markets is one such way. Carbon markets are actually meant to increase, or they are meant to bring so much of money into the market when it comes to the climate change. Because if you have money, you can put that money into R&D. When it comes to this climate research and all, you can bring some new technologies. By using these technologies also, you can regulate the climate change. In that particular sense, actually, this is right. And even carbon market transfer resources from private sector to state, definitely. In the climate change itself, all the countries worldwide, even the private sector organizations, they're working much better than the governments, right? So in that aspect also, the private sector participation is not only a prerequisite condition, but it is a necessary condition to bring down this climate change. In that sense, the carbon markets, yes, they transfer the resources from private sector to the state. So the both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and the second one is the explanation of the first one. And the fourth one, if you look at which of the following activities of the RBI is considered to be part of sterilization. Sterilization is a very easy thing. Whenever there is a rise of inflation or whenever there is a fall of inflation, it is the RBI's responsibility whether to increase the money supply or decrease the money supply, or increase the liquidity or decrease the liquidity in the market. And how the RBI will do that? Generally, RBI will use its monetary policy tools, and it is two types. One is quantitative, another one is qualitative. As part of its quantitative tools, it uses repo rate, reverse repo rate, CRR, SLR, OMO. It is also part of it. OMO is nothing but the secondary securities of the government are sold in the market. On behalf of the government, the RBI will do that. Whatever the money that is accrued by these OMO, the RBI will use it for the sterilization purposes. Sterilization in the sense, increasing, decreasing the money supply in the market to regulate the inflation. So it's a very easy question actually. So the answer is A. So in the next one, if you see, consider the following, markets: government bond market, call money market, treasury bill market, stock market. How many of the above are included in capital markets? Again, this is an easy question. Actually, it is an application-oriented question. Nothing is very difficult in this question. Actually, the markets are two types. One is money market, another one is capital market. Money market in the sense, the market which is associated with the banks. Capital market in the sense, the market which is associated with the stock exchanges. Which of the following things which are traded in the stock exchange? Treasury bills, they might be traded, but they're not actually part of stock exchanges or capital markets, because treasury bills, their period is limited. It is 91 days, 184 days, 364 days. That is the time period. So it is less than 1 year. Less than 1 year, it will go into the money market. It is not capital market. And call money means it is just fortnight. That is like 15 days something. So government bonds, yes, they are traded in the capital market. Stock markets, that itself is the name. So only two. This is the answer. A very easy answer. And the next one, if you see, which one of the following best describes the concept of small farmer, large field? The option is missing here. So small farmer, large field in the sense, in generally in India, we have more small and marginal farmers. Out of the total farming community in this nation, more than 80% of the farmers community, they belongs to small and marginal farmers community. So when it comes to the productivity in the agriculture sector, how can you bring productivity? All these small and marginal farmers, they have to come together and they have to cooperate with one another. When they cooperate with each other, which is already been in our constitution like cooperative societies and all, when they cooperate with one another, they can increase not only their production capacities but also productivity. In that sense, it is nothing but bringing the farmers into one group and doing operations collectively. So the option in that respect, many marginal farmers in an area organize themselves into groups and synchronize and harmonize selected agricultural operations. So this is your answer. This is purely a topic which came in the newspaper article. In that part, actually, this concept was explained. So those who read that particular newspaper, they are the heroes. So consider the following statements. Even this question also explained in my current affairs topic. As part of the MSP, that is minimum support price, the government give MSP for 23 crops, and neither seed is one of it. In that sense, the government of India provides MSP for Niger seeds. Yes, it provides. And Niger is cultivated as a kharif crop. Yes, it is a kharif crop. Some tribal people, they use it for oil. Not only tribal people, even the traditional people also, they use it for oil. In that sense, all three. So this is your answer. This question is also easy one. Reasonable statements. Consider the investments in the following assets. How many of the above are considered intangible investments? Intangible in the sense something which you cannot touch. It's an easy one, right? Brand recognition, you can't touch a brand recognition, right? For example, there is something called LG brand. You can feel it, you can't touch it. So that is true. Inventory, you can touch the inventory, no? Last year you have bought some 100 products, only 50 products you are able to sold, and the 50 products will stay in your inventory. So that is a tangible one. So this is wrong. Intellectual property rights also, you can't touch it. So it is a kind of a kind of certificate that is given on your name that you hold all the rights on that particular product. For example, if there is something called LG brand, the LG company only can make LG goods. You and me cannot do it. So in that sense, intellectual properties is also correct. Even mailing list of clients. So that itself is part of service, no? Mailing, all electronics, no? So intangible. So what is the answer? 3. Only 3. This again is the easy question actually. So consider the following. This is an interesting question. For the horizontal tax devolution, the 15th Finance Commission used how many of the above as criteria? A direct question from the current affairs. Because if you see in the pandemic, we appointed Finance Commission almost for 6 years. Generally, the Finance Commission under Article 280 of the Indian Constitution, we appoint for every 5 years, but because of the pandemic, we have appointed the Finance Commission for 6 years. The Finance Commission, it did its work from 2020 and it has been extended to 2026. In that, they had already been given, and many times it is there in the newspaper. Demographic performance is there. Those states which have reduced the population, they got some good amount of funds. Forest and ecology, and they had recently introduced this. Government's reforms, there is no such thing, because you can't say some reform is good and some reform is not good until and unless they are tried and until and unless they have been implemented for a very longer period. For example, if BJP government is bringing reforms, the Congress party will say no, they are bad. If the Congress is bringing reforms in Karnataka state today, the BJP will say it is bad. So nobody is going to come on an equation of motion, right? So in that particular sense, you can't say really governance reforms can be put under tax devolutions. Stable government, this is wordless. Tax and fiscal efforts, yes, definitely it will be there. So only 3. So this is your answer. Again, an easy question, definitely easy. There is no doubt about it. So consider the following infrastructure sectors on how many of the above UNOPS Sustainable Investment in Infrastructure and Innovation Initiative focus for its investment. Again, a purely current affairs question, a difficult one actually. In that sense, I'll go with the direct answer because I cannot explain you and there is no sense of analyzing it actually. Affordable housing is part of it, mass rapid is not part of it, healthcare is part of it, renewable energy is part of it. So only 3. Definitely there is no logic here. I think it's better to leave this question because as already the exam is over, I don't know how many of you have done that. And according to MSME Act, the medium enterprises are absorbed with the investments in plant and machinery between some 10 to 25 crore. Actually, the number should be 5 to 10, I guess. In that sense, this is wrong. All bank loans to MSME qualify under priority sector. True. So, true only. Easy question or else somewhere at medium level. because even in the books it has been written in that sense. With reference to central bank digital currency, very interesting question because recently the RBI has brought the digital rupee. It is possible to make payments in digital currency without using dollar or SWIFT system. Yes, digital currencies, they can be done digitally. There is no need for the SWIFT systems because you are not transferring money through IRTS or NEFT, right? Or IMPS. So this is correct. A digital currency can be distributed with a condition programmed into it such as time frame for spending. There is no such thing like time frame. After some period, this is expiry date. There is no expiry date for digital currency. So this is wrong. So one only is your answer. Easy question. And then 13, if you see what is beta refers to, a very difficult question to answer until and unless you are a pro in stock markets. It is a stock market related question. It means when there is any stock destabilization or if there is any what you say like some dwindling in stock markets, it is a numeric value or it is a number which says how much your share can be reduced. So it is a numeric value, it measures the possible fluctuations of a shares in the overall stock market, which means because of something in the overall stock market, how much your share value may reduce. So that is called beta. So in the context of finance, what is beta? In the context of maths, it is different. That's why he has asked it very specifically. In the context of finance, what is beta refers to? So this is what beta refers to, right? So next one, Switzerland is one of the leading exporters of gold in terms of value. Absolutely right, but not in terms of quantity. Quantity, definitely some Australia or the African countries will come. Switzerland has the second largest gold reserves. Gold reserves generally they come where the placer deposits are there. For example, like Australia desert, Kalgoorlie, Kulgari, or in the Tajikistan or Kazakhstan in that area, or Ghana, or any of the areas which is near to your Lake Victoria in Africa. So there you will find them. It is not Switzerland because Switzerland is one area. It is full of temperate region and all. So this is not correct. In that sense, statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Yes, definitely. Where is it? Yes. C is your answer. Statement 2 is incorrect. So this is also there. Recently, the United States of America and European Union have launched Technology and Trade Council. This is right. And they claim through this they are trying to bring technological progress and physical productivity. So physical productivity, you can't bring it with some technology, right? Physical productivity is something that every person has to feel out of their intuition. Physical productivity is not something that you say it, I do, or I say it, you do. It has to happen from within you. So that is what we call it as perseverance, right? So physical productivity, I don't think so. So this is very wrong. So statement 1 is correct and the statement 2 is incorrect. C is your answer. India accounts for 3.2% of global export. When it happened, it is hardly 1.6% like that. So it is less than 2% actually. Many local companies and foreign companies operating have taken advantage of India production linked incentive scheme. That is true. And that production linked incentive scheme, earlier also they had given question on that. Subsidy product, production linked incentive scheme, and even there is some name for it also, I am not remembering actually. So statement 1 is wrong, absolutely wrong. But statement 2 is correct. So D is your option in that sense. Again, this question is easy and the earlier question is also easy. If you read it. The Stability Growth Pact of the European Union is a treaty that limits the level of budgetary deficit of the countries of European Union. It makes the countries of EU share their infrastructure. Why they share it? If you look at Germany, Germany is best in infrastructure. It can't share its facilities with some other countries, right? And it enables the countries to share their technologies. Why they'll share their technologies? Rafael from France, Dassault Airlines, will they share that technology to India? There is no such thing. So it's only one. Again, difficult question because nobody reads such things in the newspaper. Anyway, the UPSC again proved it oneself. Proved it, one more time. That UPSC is beyond expectations. Everyone in India, they felt that UPSC will give question paper like last year. But last year they tested everyone. Like in the last year paper, in the previous year paper, UPSC had given only 10 questions as far as this only one, pair 1 and pair 2 are concerned. But this year they have given approximately 40 to 50 questions in that way. Which means UPSC is saying that if you rely on simply reading the books without practice, you're out of race. You have to practice well, you have to apply your knowledge, and every time you have to be on your toes as far as the current affairs is concerned. And the economic questions are best testimony of that. So definitely I hope that you people have done a wonderful job in your examination, and the cutoff would be also approximately 85 to 90, in between that only, or even it may be less to 85. Those who are crossing 90 marks in your preliminary examinations, definitely you will get qualified. So start your mains preparation. As far as the mains preparation is concerned also, in AKS IAS, we are also starting the test series. Those who are interested in the test series, you can find the numbers in the description section and you can call them. So thank you. Have a nice day.